The Black Fives are arguably one of the most powerful and advanced steam locomotives built in Britain. They were known as mixed traffic locomotives, a do anything and go anywhere engine. An engine capable of any type of load, from the heaviest of freight trains to the most glamorous of the LMS passenger expresses. Their capabilities made them last over 30 years, right up to the very end of British mainline steam in 1968. So why were they built? The London, Midland and Scottish Railway was one of the Big Four. Four major railway companies formed from existing companies as part of the government's 1923 Grouping Act. The largest of these was the LMS, the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, formed of various companies such as the London and North Western Railway, the Midland Railway, the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, the Somerset and Dorset Railway, the Caledonian Railway, and the Highland Railways. Many of their locomotives dated from the late 19th century and were getting old and weary. The majority were from the London and North Western Railway and the Midland Railway, who both operated trains from the major London termini of Euston and St Pancras. While this was a problem, the Crab class was introduced under a design by George Hughes, and Henry Fowler, formerly Chief Mechanical Engineer of the Midland Railway, introduced the Royal Scots, an engine similar to traditional Midland engines. However, only 71 of these were ever made, and the LMS still suffered from a locomotive shortage. What didn't help was the mass withdrawal of many locomotives it had inherited from the London and North Western Railway, the Midland Railway and the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway in the 1920s and the early 1930s. In 1932, the LMS employed Sir William Stanier as Chief Mechanical Engineer. Stanier had previously worked for the Great Western Railway. Being from the GWR, he would have been inspired by some of the GWR's greatest locomotive designing feats, such as the Castle class, the Hall class, and the King class locomotives. Stanier saw the need for new locomotives and designed such engines as the Princess Royals in 1933 and the Jubilees the following year. But it was later in 1934 that a new locomotive came to the rails, the Stanier Class 5 460 mixed traffic locomotive, or the Black 5.